Hello, everyone. Yes, I do have COVID. I contracted it, and I'm deathly ill, actually. But I am here. I'm an entertainer, you understand? And I must keep the show going. You understand? This is a level of professionalism that really hasn't been ever seen. I don't see any streamers doing anything like this. And that's what I'm trying to give you. Entertainment. I'm trying to give you. I mean, if I drop dead, wow, that would be just like, that's going to be everywhere. I want to enjoy the benefits from it, but that's when I make it. I'm going to make it as an influencer, as a streamer, as a YouTuber on my death. And that is my luck. My mustache is cursed. I would like to thank China for giving me COVID. I said I would never wear this shirt until I contracted this deadly virus. I have now contracted it. It's horrible, but it's okay because I'm here and you're supporting me with all your love. Now, my savior, Obsidian Ant, who saved me from being canceled many moons ago last summer, has a video called Scam Citizen, the erosion of trust in gaming. Let's check it out.
Scam Citizen. Browse the internet for any length of time, and it won't take long for you to see people calling Star Citizen a scam.
That will be up on YouTube
and of course,
tonight, buddy.
wordplay is always the easy insult. For what it's worth, I don't believe Star Citizen is an out-and-out scam, but the conversation surrounding that subject does speak to a broader issue which I want to get into right here. That is the topic of trust within the games industry at large. Trust between the player and the various studios out there. Well,
yes, it is the most important bond that there is. Star Citizen being a game that's revolutionizing the way that games are being funded, being very open, by the way, being very transparent. I haven't seen a lot of other companies making their game being funded by the players that play it be as transparent on this level and with such professionalism. Let's keep going.
To put it another way, the erosion of trust between company and customer. Of course, it's not simply an issue that affects just Star Citizen, CIG and players, but it's a problem that affects the wider gaming industry. So, sorry if you're expecting something else from this video, but this isn't about Star Citizen specifically. Instead, I'm using Star Citizen as a starting point to jump into a broader subject. What Star Citizen does wonderfully then is highlight the issue of cynicism. No doubt most people will be well aware that cynicism is deeply entrenched in many gaming communities.
Wow, did he say a word incorrectly, or is that the actual way that the English say cynicism? Are there two ways? I need this now, because this might be the first mistake that Obsidian Ant has ever made. Is it cynicism? It's cynicism. Shit, now I gotta type this up. Hold on a second. We always learn stuff here on this stream. Hold on a second. We're going to the official pronunciation right now. And what is it?
Cynicism.
Oh, I would like to applaud myself. I actually am smarter than Obsidian Ant. I'm sorry, Obsidian. You're my Lord and Savior. You really are. But I have to say right there, I am actually smarter than you. Unless the English say cynicism as cynicism. I don't know. The dictionaries are wrong. I like that, Tucky. I like that, dude.
What's worse is that widespread cynicism has led...
Oh, I can't get over that. I can't get over that Obsidian says this, and this is not correct English from one of the most English men in the whole entire world.
...to unreasonable levels of jaded behavior. I spoke about this in a previous video that you can see linked on the screen right here. It's also linked in the video description. In that video, I also used a game for a reference point. In that case, it was Elite Dangerous, and I used it to discuss how jaded gamers have perhaps become a bit of a problem. But also that games companies bear much of the responsibility for the current state of things in the industry, as well as for creating those jaded gamers in the first place. And yes, it's not a situation limited to just games.
Wait, Ostentatious says that we do not pronounce it that way. Hold on a second. Double win. Ostentatious, thank you for making my head that much bigger. Seriously, bro. Ostentatious coming in with the double victory right now. Oh.
As I say, this is something that's happening in other fandoms as well, where companies outright attack fans, and some fans in turn are overbearingly toxic. There's no doubt a ton of reasons for this failure in relationships. It's certainly a tangled, weaved net of complexity, and one that is way beyond my knowledge and skills to analyse and untangle. I'm not proposing any answers or solutions here. I'm also not laying the blame at the feet of any one group. It's certainly not the fault of gamers, that's for sure. Yet, only a fool would say that there's no problems in the gaming industry or the entertainment industry at large, and only the most blinkered and short-sighted of people would seek to lay the blame at any single target. So yes, this is a broad subject, but one we can discuss in at least one aspect, and that aspect is...
Okay, I will say this about Obsidian. He has his own B-roll footage that is like this vast library of amazing B-roll footage, and I just will applaud that right now because oh god, that was my left lung just exploding. My left lung just exploded. Hold on one second. Okay, that's okay. I have one lung left. I can do this.
Is a subject of trust. 10 years ago, Chris Roberts made a dramatic comeback to the gaming industry. A legend in his own time, Roberts was the creator of the much-loved and highly praised Wing Commander series of games. For those of you too young to remember, the Wing Commander titles were truly seen as next level during the 90s.
They were?
This was a time when huge blockbuster games simply didn't exist on a wide scale.
They didn't?
So the select few that did exist was seen in high esteem. Riding on this massive tide of success, Chris Roberts announced Freelancer in 1997.
We love Freelancer.
At the time, it was Next Generation magazine reported that the game had a planned 2.5-year development schedule. The natural assumption from that, of course, should perhaps have meant the game would release in late.
I said dead game. I have been talking about Elite Dangerous forever, Ash. It is so good to see you again. Can I just... We had a period of time where Ash was not here and I missed him, and I would just like to give a little love to Ash. It is good to see you back here. He always brings up great points in the comments. He says ED generally has less than 5,000 active players, and that number keeps dropping, and less than 400 views on Twitch. It's practically a dead game at this point. It's going to stay dead. Elite Dangerous is over, and it is a sad thing. And a lot of people would say, oh, DG, this is what you wanted. No, I didn't. I really wished for something that Elite Dangerous could have been that never was,
1999 or early 2000. Ultimately, it released much later, in 2003 in fact, and this after reported big influxes of money, as well as the development studio Digital Anvil being purchased by Microsoft. Chris Roberts also left the company before the title was released. The game, meanwhile, reportedly released in a cut-down state. But even still, to this day, Freelancer is a much-loved game. Now I mention this very well-known story, for one very specific reason. In 2003, the release of Freelancer was met with some disappointment due to its stripped-down state, but it was also met with a lot of critical acclaim, both from critics as well as fans.
Elite lost touch, and what you're seeing is content creators that were big into Elite Dangerous switching over to Star Citizen.
Now it really is hard to imagine that positive reaction to a stripped down title happening today in 2022. The parallel would be a game announced with massive ambitions and then highly hyped, and finally being released in a cut down and perhaps arguably unfinished condition. We all know how that goes down, and there are many examples of exactly that happening, or even worse.
What's up, Dark Spike? Welcome to the stream,
20 years ago then, Freelancer was a rare exception of that scenario. The issue of trust didn't even come into the equation. This problem didn't occur with enough frequency for trust to even be an issue. And of course, social media also didn't exist. Now this isn't to say, in my day, things were much better. That's not the point I'm trying to make here. The point here is broader. Over the past 20 years, the games industry has grown massively. Vast numbers of companies are involved, with tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars also being involved. What's more, the gaming audience is now far larger. What was once the realm of nerds is now a mainstream phenomena. And all that without even touching on social media and its impact and the current easy use of...
Listen, there's going to be more abuses to game development because there's just more people involved in the space, man. Like, he's absolutely right. This isn't something that's going to, like, stop anytime soon. It's only going to grow and get worse. You're going to have a lot of bad actors in the space. You're going to have a lot of people coming in just for the bucks. I mean, we've seen plenty of that with crypto gaming. We've seen plenty of that with the play to win model or the play to earn model. And it should be play and earn. And you notice now, it's interesting because I've been talking about this for a year and a half. What you're noticing now in the play and earn space or play to earn space is they're switching to play and earn. Shouldn't have given them the template.
Communication. And yes, quite naturally, that also includes YouTubers and live streamers who undoubtedly magnify the entire situation. And yes, I do include myself in that. After all, it's impossible for a content creator to post a video, or message, or a live stream without that very message having some type of effect. Often, that isn't the intent from the creator, but due to the very nature of the platform, it is an unavoidable outcome. Today then, we exist in a world where freelancer isn't an exception, which is idolized. Instead, many gamers feel that overpromising and under-delivering is the de facto method of games development.
It's always been
Further,
that way.
Gamers have come to expect that companies will release shoddy, unworking games. There's even a chance they may abandon the title before fixing the most serious issues, although then again they may backtrack due to applied pressures. Today's gaming scene then plays out on a highly visible stage. Every announcement is reacted to instantly. Feedback to those reactions can be equally instant. There's little room to breathe and let alone think. It's an almost perpetual cycle. Announce, hype, develop, hype, release. Followed by disappointment, complaints, and even on occasion, outright hostility and toxicity. That's not to say that's the case in every situation. Sometimes there are some exceptional games out there that everyone absolutely seems to love. Now, like I said back in 2003, this whole scenario was very different, and really the question of trust didn't come into the equation. Yet today in 2022 it is very, very different, and trust is now in short supply. Companies have used and abused until little or nothing remains. Fandoms spiral into frothing toxicity. It seems like a complete mess. Yes, of course there are some bastions of greatness out there, but overall it does seem like a bit of a problem. But there are a few points to take away from this entire situation. Firstly, that spiral is ongoing. It's happening with the current games. It's even happening with the future titles. Just look at how certain quarters are complaining about Starfield already. We barely know anything about the title. The game is many months away from release. However, none of that stops the jaded game.
Sorry, thank you. Sorry. I'm suffering from COVID. Like, sorry. I'm back here. So what I was saying is if Bethesda actually pulls it off, if they pull Starfield off and they hit a home run with it, I'm kind of in the camp that they're going to. I just have this feeling that it's going to be a good game. And if they do it, it'll be like it'll be nice, because like for forever I have not felt like Bethesda's name meant anything. I remember the days when Bethesda was the shit, and what they produced, how they produced it, the final product they put out was phenomenally good.
Gamer from complaining. Now, I'm not here to argue the rights and wrongs of that. Bethesda have certainly messed up enough in the past, yet big time too, and they certainly aren't the only company doing it. But ultimately, the cost of all of this is trust.
What's
the question
up, Anarchy? How you doing, bro?
Is this: what happens once that supply of trust has run dry? But perhaps we'll never actually find out an answer to that question, at least hopefully not. After all, arguably, and perhaps paradoxically, we are currently in a golden age of gaming.
Yes, we are.
There has never been so many games, and so many good games at that.
It'll just keep getting
better. There have never been
better.
so many easy access titles. Yet that too may also be a part of the problem. Overabundance, after all, comes with its own set of issues in every single system. And yeah, returning to that subject of Star Citizen momentarily, just like Freelancer before it, it seems to exist as an outlier. Whilst many outright deride it, others continue to praise it. It's an enigma, to be sure. At any rate, do let me know what you think of this entire subject. Do you think there's been an erosion of trust within the games industry? Do you think it's right to place the blame for that at the feet of various companies, particularly some of the big studios out there and publishers? Alternatively, what sort of blame do you put at the feet of gamers in all of this? Do let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.
That was good, man. I do have to say, I really think that when it comes to game development, you're only going to see more and more of these developers step into the space, because the industry's growing at a pace that's phenomenal. Like gaming in itself, a lot of people think, oh yeah, like gaming's probably in its prime and it's going to go down from here. It's not. What's up? Thank you for that, Dark Spike.
What are you doing?
Dance off, bro.
Appreciate that, bro. Yeah, we're just at the beginning, dudes. I mean, like, what we're going into is going to be phenomenal. We got VR coming in, like, hot 2033. It's going to be, like, a totally different space in the gaming world. We just started. Like, we just fucking started, you know? That's the crazy thing.